march into Game 2 of the series. This will be LGD.NBW taking on Hero Esports in the final series of Day 3 of the KCC2025. But once again, let's pass it over to the crowd for the chant.
And right off the bat, you can see the difference in mindset. So LGD knowing that, hey, you probably can't contest with that first level, but look at that, quite a bit of damage being laid down onto XZai already.
Well, the rotation here coming in from Fox to stop Hero from taking this potential fire beak here. But the cavalry is coming already in the form of JXI on the Xiao Xiao, forcing this buff to be almost taken away from the side of Hero.
Yeah, but Hero, look, they have benefited off of that rotation, right? This camp is stolen away by Clean. This is a very good start for the side of Hero.
And this also comes into the information exchange, right? Because we saw Hui and Fox start out the mid lane. It means that for LGD's jungle, he wouldn't be able to be appeared in that jungle bot side that early compared to the fast jungle clear coming in from Clean.
Okay, but with that being said, Tanran has taken quite a bit of damage here, and thankfully for the side of Hui, that Crimson Golem wasn't stolen. So does this cause the early start for the side of LGD?
It might be, right, because at the very least, we see a bit of a tussle towards the mid side here, funneling most of the gold into the pockets of the jungle and the mid lane here. And the rotations coming in for the side of Hero Esports is to really get more of these resources in towards the pockets of this pay in the side of the jungle.
Yeah, so escorting him, making sure he's safe in the jungle is definitely one of the win conditions. At the same time, the gold sharing coming in from the side of LGD seems to be that solution that they're looking for.
And tonight we saw a lot of the pay promise coming in from the global teams, coming in from the KCC teams, and it has been showing a lot of work so far in the tournament itself.
Yep, it has, right? As long as Clean keeps farming, I think that's going to be one win condition that Hero are going to try to achieve for themselves. So far, it's looking good on the goal charts because they do have a very slight lead, which is instantly negated by LGD here.
Yeah, early game is always like that, right? You're trading back and forth, looking for these jungle resources clear, but once you falter that one team fight, that's where the goal lead gets bursted open exponentially here. But so far in the early game, it's still relatively quiet for those two teams.
Oh, I like this play from Fox, right? Very simple mechanic here, just making sure to use those kitty bombs in the brushes to be able to scout out information for the team. And now they know that YQ is here. So this allows Hero to make certain decisions, right? Right now, there is a potential for a double man dive from Clean to help out in the farm lane against the solo X-Han.
I wonder as well, to your point, does the competitive server, the pro server, have the hang on a moment though, as we do see Razor Cavalry pushing back Raw into the warm welcome of the enemy team here. But does he survive from this push though? There is so much crowd control here. He's still up and alive, but the final nail in the coffin coming in from Tanran to seal first blood for his team.
That was a huge play, but that took much longer than I'm sure Hero expected and wanted it to be. Now with that, first blood goes into the hands of Hero, secures a 1000 goal lead, which allows them to continue building space for the side of their jungler for Hero. But take a look at this, he bought so much time whenever his bar is full, and this is Luo we're talking about. He's able to get that life steal back, but unfortunately for him, too many members to deal with, too many stuns, too many knockups.
Very good role coming in for the side of JXI to capitalize on the side of War in that exchange here. Even after multiple levels of CC, he managed to survive here. But hey, a kill is a kill coming in from Hero.
True, but still, Hero, I think I like the response. They knew that, hey, they weren't in a position to be able to contest for that 4-minute Tyrant, so they take the immediate trade for the Overlord. This is going to allow them to keep their goal lead, right? But is this enough?
For the very least now, it's looking really healthy for Hero Esports compared to game number 1 here. We take any leads possible coming in, but look at the Suge charge here, catching on towards 2 here. But Queen being pushed out from his Tiger stance here. At the very least, big poke damage does come true, but the defense has been escalated coming in from LGD.NBW.
I mean, this is just a different level, right? KPL teams, they're showing you that you can aggress from many different angles, even if the T1s are still available. And this is based on the draft. The amount of damage that YQ took for the team, that was the opening that they were looking for. And with the pushback as well, hopefully looking for the kill. But unfortunately for them, there was not enough synergy and on the timing for JC to be able to get the final blow.
Also on the prize as well, SANGJIE on the Dunshan plays a pivotal role in helping X-Han on the errand to realistically escape from the play. So first thing first is to carry Xiao Han and then use the force field suppression to push back all the enemies from the continuous push here. But take a look at the top side though. Razor Cavalry does catch on towards Luo here, but the second one does go wide here. With the cavalry coming in, that's 5 members collapsing on towards Clean here. Clean already using the first pounce will be taken down by Luo in that exchange.
Yep, that was a nice move by the side of LGD.NBW, but this comes at the cost of a T1 being taken down by the side of Hero. So is this going to be a worthwhile trade though?
I do fully agree that LGD make a beautiful trade because we know for a fact that if Clean, this pick on the pay gets delayed on the early game, that could just spell horrible news for the side of Hero Esports here. As we see, more engage towards the side of the Sulier here. Doesn't force out the Iron Colossus passive here, but has to take the recall. Look for a bit of a recuperation.
I mean, to be honest, that would have been a perk, right? Taking down that passive, that initial life of YQ would have been great for the side of LGD, but what they really wanted was to push them back so they could actually take the T1 at the top. Because until they make that trade, the map is still very much in advantage to Hero because the farming speed on the side of Clean has been slightly disrupted, but he's still very much in the lead, close to 1,000 ahead of his counterpart on Hui.
Very comfortable, especially on this carry jungle here. And if we pan our focus into the other lanes, there's no one that could really equate the farming speed coming in from Clean on this page here. So he needs to make sure that he reduces more of these mistakes going on to the later stages of the game, especially to the 10th minute mark.
Yeah, he needs to be at the forefront of the farming. He's doing that right now, top of the gold charts. But the setup by the side of LGD looking a little bit dicey for the side of Hero here. Clean, he has the gold. What he needs now is the support of the team. They need more setup, need more stuns.
And that will come from YQ and also Tanran here. Yet to see them pull off a masterful team fight aside from the play on towards Lord here. So I'm waiting to see how they really play out this team fight here. Top side, a bit of a tussle between Wanda and also Lord, given over this Firebeak over to the side of LGD.
Yeah, I mean, the Firebeak, every little bit matters right now. They aren't able to find any angle of entry on the side of Hero. They did commit the initial charge on the Howling Wind and immediate swap of itemization for the side of YQ. And still, value given to the side of LGD.
And slowly but surely, we're approaching to that 8-minute mark here. The second Tyrant will be respawned towards the Gorge in just a short moment here. So, at the very least, you see LGW's net worth, they're slowly catching up and equalizing here, despite the fact that Clean is so consistent on the pay farm.
Yeah, that's because they took a T1 on the top. Now, this is a favorable trade in terms of map control for the side of LGD. Nice knockup, but this Byron, Lord, he's so hard to take down. They will buy time though, and with that, Hero do secure that 8.5-minute Tyrant for themselves.
Wait, Tanran here looking for potential steal on this buff here. He does get the steal here, but get immediately pushed back by the side of the all-shield here coming from SANGJIE. But Flash expanded here, not the best of the trade here coming from LGD. Losing buff, losing a common spell.
Yeah, not ideal at all. And then really forces us to look at the game from LGD's eyes, right? Now with a discomfort here coming in, what else can they find across the map? Because this is not looking good for Lore. Lore is now potentially being pincered in a 1v2, might lose the T1 here as well.
Well, very good shielding here coming in for force field suppression here. That's the value of a well-farmed Byron here. You get so much healing and shielding based on your itemization that you choose.
Yeah, and LGD, I think the game plan here is you want to try and force the macro play, right? Hero unable to really withstand against the potential, the kill potential of the LGD.NBW lineup, so they're relying on Tanran to make the split push here.
And both these teams are slowly but surely scaling into the 10th minute mark here. Look at the minion wave advantage here coming in for the bottom turret here. Potentially trading away the Crimson Golem for that bottom tier 2, but it has been denied coming in for Lore's rotation here. Of course, look at the timer right now. 10 minutes, 1-1 in terms of scoreline. The goal lead, practically not important at all. It's just dead even.
Yeah, it really is, right? This one is really more about positioning at this point, especially when it's coming to the 10-minute mark. The Shadow variants will make a big difference. The Tyrant, Shadow variant of the Tyrant will be enough to win them big team fights. They don't need to get an ace, but having important tanks like Tanran or Lua being taken down, that really will change the team fight.
And look at Yaodao's position here. He's looking for the potential flanker. As we see, the fight does get broken up in the front line here with Xiaohan being the primary target here, does get taken down as the first victim coming in from Tanran here. Crucial crowd control, finding more of these members here, pushing into the depths of Heroes' mouths here. They are getting every single thing on towards their platter here, with Hui also destined to fall. Luo being the final member here, but it doesn't matter. 4 kills into the side of Hero. That opens up the Shadow Tyrant for the taking.
Beautiful catch from the side of Hero. I'm very sure we'll get a shot of the replay over that. But that was a beautiful setup by both JC as well as YQ. And as well as the splitting movement from Tanran on that Razor Cavalry really made LGD be put in a very bad position. So because right at the start of the fight, 3 important members, Fox, X-Han as well as Xi, already taken down. And that means you have no damage, you have no crowd control.
And we were talking about like, hey, where's the setup coming in from Hero Esports? It's been an awfully quiet early game, but the immediate follow-up coming in from Tanran and also YQ really set up Yaodao, one down on the Chisha, to go for the aggressive flank against the Aaron.
Yep, Yaodao actually, he made it out with a sliver of health. He was really critical in placing the damage down against the LGD.NBW members. And we'll take a look at this gold graph here. So close to 8,000 for one Dao, but you can see, even with the lesser gold in the farm lane comparison, able to pull out quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, and this is just the pressure point coming in from LGD's draft. You draft a single carry lineup on towards the Aaron here, and the moment they get the big pounce on towards you, you lose out your most consistent DPS here coming in from LGD. So the next fight, if Xiaohan actually falls, that could be a very big blunder for the side of LGD.
Well, we'll see. I mean, that's what they're hoping for on the side of Hero, right? Tanran has been looking across the map, and once again, if he finds that godly flag, it could be the end.
And a bit of a tussle here coming in, as we do see the engage wasn't to go all in, but to take away the Crimson Gold and force Xiaohan and Hui to back off from the buff itself.
Yeah, and also making sure they get the pressure coming in from the T2 at the top as well. Now, this is Hero at their best juncture just yet. They're trying to get the setup here, but they're over-chasing.
Yeah, Hao being committed from the side of LGD.NBW here. The primary focus will be on towards Yaodao here, but it's such
Tanran.
a tanky Chisha here. Tanran coming in for the follow engage here. Doesn't find the marker on towards Xiaohan here. He's still kiting, but soon enough, it will be falling into the hands of Yaodao on that flash engage in towards the side of LGD's farm main player here. 3v4 on towards the front side here. The fight isn't over yet. They're still going for it, but the sustain just isn't enough coming in from Luo. He will be going down shortly into the hands of Yaodao on that Shisha here. Hui also getting caught out by the Blossoming Fan here. Does he have the unruly bait? He chooses to go in. Baited by the Splendor. 4 for 1 again in favor of Hero Esports.
LGD believed in their execution. They wanted to end the fight there. There was quite a bit of healthy damage by the side of Fox, but unfortunately, there is too many life bars on the side of Hero Esports, and they really outplayed themselves there. LGD now at risk of losing the Shadow Overlord to the side of Hero.
Yaodao on this Shisha is just phenomenal here. As we can check into this replay, Kin, do break it down for us.
The biggest thing in this that made the difference here is the redemption by the side of YQ. Secondarily, it's also about the serving platter that Tanran gave to the side of Hero. He served the members like Xiaohan, the Aaron, straight up on a plate for Yaodao to finish up. This was one of the biggest difference makers in the first part of the fight. But the second one was the fact that they fought so long that YQ actually got the cooldown for his ultimate, allowing for this setup onto the Dune, which was enough to be able to slow him down, lessen the healing values, and the ultimate coming in from the side of Yaodao as well. Beautiful finish onto the second portion of the fight.
Now with a 5,000 goalie after that magnificent back-to-back objective plays, Hero Esports looks into a much more comfortable position, going in for more of this tier 3 damages here.
Yeah, we'll see. P3s now stand between the defense of LGD's game number 2 against Hero's overpowering might at this point in time. Yaodao has been performing so well in this game, being able to find all the gaps that are available on the side of LGD.NBW.
This is the experience that we talk about here. Before converting himself into the roster hero, he was in KSG, and before KSG, he was in the legendary roster of Wolves Esports here. This just proves how much experience matters here coming in for the farm main role.
Yeah, we'll see. One down here looking for another potential opening. So far, I think the only thing that's standing in the way of Hero taking this series has been Lure. His engages on this Byron have been the difference maker, but it's not enough. They need someone else on the side of LGD to take a stand here, and that needs to be X-Han.
Yeah, X-Han, you can see him working towards his Blood Rage as well. This is a semi-tank on-hit Airwind build here, so at the very least, he won't be an easy target to pick off with the help of XI on that Dujan roamer pick.
It's like a damage over time build, right? And that requires them to be able to drag the fight. And so far, LGD have not been allowed to do that because of the catches by Tanran. Every single time they're looking for the correct positioning or prior positioning for the side of X-Han, he keeps getting caught up by Tanran.
And if you check out the build as well, right, you will start to see one issue here. Yes, LGD has a lot of damage coming in from the side of Xiaohan, but the problem is, the only damage is coming from Xiaohan. There's no other supplement to really play the game for himself. As you can see, Tanran does go for an initial engagement, does push back Hui into the depths of the side of Hero Esports. And right now, without their primary tank, all LGD can do is just to pivot away towards safety here. Lure going deep towards the backline here, but gets tied up by 5 members. That leaves 2 remaining standing for the LGD. What can they do? Because this is just a ticking time bomb looking for the potential equalizer for Hero Esports.
Yeah, beautiful moves from the side of Hero Esports, actually sharing the damage that's available. Here comes a dive and trying to push them away. This will be game number 2, secured by Hero Esports, just making sure they have many more hit points than LGD to take this win.